Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea. What an eventful Friday. We've got a lovely surprise for you on the back of our two conversations this morning. Let's get right to it. Next week, tech earnings into the end of the month. I think 29 Microsoft, 30 Apple, NVIDIA, the end of February. And there's really only one voice you want to listen to who, when everything's said and done, quarter after quarter has been dead on. Yesterday or the day before, Daniel Ives of Wedbush put out a blistering tweet saying the gloom crew on Apple has it wrong. Here is Dan Ives of Wedbush on the Apple decline.
Oh, I think it's a table bounder because it's my view. You talk about Apple being light in the quarter, but they're going to announce an Apple Intelligent Partner in the next few months. And then you ultimately are going to have 25% of the world's population. When they access AI, it's going to go through an Apple device. So my view is just, it's one, that's how so many have missed the last $2.5 trillion in market cap in Apple. They focus on the bears coming out, they own the narrative, they scare white knuckles, and then Cook and Cupertino come through, and you're like, and that continues to be the mantra here. This is a name you own. You don't sell Apple, you own it.
Dan Ives there, and of course what we do in surveillance is give you different opinions. Craig Moffett-Nathanson, on about a week ago, not so much negative on Apple, just saying the lift will be delayed or extended out, with a much more cautious view of that from Craig Moffett. And there, Dan Ives. Every week, there's always a research piece that comes out of the screen. It just lifts, PDFs and all that. In the old days, we all got them printed. Forget about that. The PDF comes right out of the computer screen. That happened with Deutsche Bank and their George Saravelos in London. He wrote a brilliant University of Cambridge economics piece on tariffs. George Saravelos of Deutsche Bank on the Trump tariffs to come.
What matters to me is what impacts the market. And if you look at the price action this week in the market, what was interesting, and it's something we had warned about the previous week, the market was expecting an immediate tariff announcement. You could see it in the risk premium that was priced in to the volatility space. You could see it in inflation break-evens. And therefore, when tariffs were not announced on the first day of President Trump's new administration, you have seen the market squeeze in terms of the dollar longs. Now we're entering next week with almost the opposite dynamic. The market has completely taken out the risk premium of potential immediate tariffs, especially with regard to Canada, and that would be a big shock.
George Saravelos there on the back and forth, the whiplash of this tariff debate. Of course, we'll have that Joe Matthew and Kaylee Lines really leading our debate on that with balance of power. One of the great joys we have at Surveillance, we make a joke, he's a surveillance meteorologist, but we're honored that across all of Bloomberg, he is our national weather guy. Rob Carolyn has been brilliant. This Friday, we couldn't get Mr. Carolyn, so we went to our meteorologist in Houston, Texas, Victoria Fernandez. Let's listen.
So we went and measured. We got 4 inches of snow.
Oh, my God. Should we get Rob Carolyn in?
I can handle 105-degree heat with humidity. I can't handle snow and 20-degree weather. It's just not what we're made for here.
One of the highlights of the week from Houston, Texas, Victoria Fernandez with Crossmark. And, of course, we talked with her asset allocation. She's got some cautious view on the market. But I'll tell you, she said you still got to participate. I did not hear from her. Go to cash. She had to leave us early and get out. And she's got the John Deere. It's not battery-powered. It's a gas-powered snowblower to take care of that 3 or 4 inches of snow buttressed up against the patio door. Without question, the wow of the week was Jeffrey Cleveland out in Los Angeles with Payton and Regal, his vector of the 10-year yield out there somewhere is a stunning 3.60%. That was a wow statistic. Next week, Ian Lingen will join us from BMO Capital Markets, moving to that Fed meeting. Across the nation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Nice to hear from you on SiriusXM. Thank you so much for your attention on SiriusXM, on YouTube, and on YouTube podcasts. This is Single Best Idea.